So, this is Autocraft Season 5 for the very last time. At the end of June, I logged on here for the very first time, and 10 episodes later, we're here at episode 11, which is the finale. It's really been an amazing journey, and I just want to take a final look at everything we've built over the season, so we'll be touring every project and reflecting on it, and I think I know just where to begin. So right here is technically where we built the first thing on the server. It's not what's behind us, but it was actually just a small pillar that we used to talk a little bit at the beginning. You could see it in the little cinematic shot, but it's sadly not here anymore. I guess we can't have quality pillars around here. But speaking about starter things, I did do a little labeling in the beginning, and we also have our first piece of stone broken all the way over here. But to get to it, we do need to break apart Crink's shop a little bit, but we'll fix it. You could see Firefly's first stone, June 22nd, 2024. Now, how do we get out of here? Just as new, right? Close enough, at least. And then if we come over here to the furniture shop, you could see our day one base. Well, you actually can't see it anymore. It's somewhere around here. Just like our first piece of stone mine that Crink built right on top of it. It should be somewhere around here. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Let's put this floor back. So now that we're in here, this is our day one base, also on June 22nd, which we just cleared out a trial. What is it called? I can never get this right. A trail ruin. Yeah, that was right. So we cleared out a trail ruin, repaired it a little bit with some spruce wood, and just put some simple stuff here to get us going so we could build our main starter base that's over there. It's really nothing crazy, but we do have our first pickaxe and first diamond on the Autocraft server right in here. Is there anything else that's special around here? Well, we have our dogs. We have Arlo right here. We have Rufus over here. We have a fox. And we have Rolf, which he's not here. But he's somewhere. That was a little ominous, but we'll see Ralph later at the skeleton grinder. So what else do we need to show around here? We have a bed right there, but oh, we also have this bamboo area, which you might be wondering, why would you put a bamboo farm like this underground? Well, it's all because of what's under here. At the beginning of the season, we had a little competition to see who could craft the most bamboo rafts, and these are all the ones that I made. We didn't win, but now we still have all these down here, and they just live there. But I wanted to keep my bamboo operations a little bit of a secret, so I put it down here in the space instead of just on the surface. Speaking of these dogs, I think it's kind of sad that they're still here, and I've been meaning to do this for a while, so let's take them over here. Oh, they're not even name tagged. Okay, we're back with the name tags. We got Rufus over here and Arlo. But what I was trying to say is I want to get these guys out of here in this hole underground, under the furniture shop. I think they deserve a much better home. And before we close this off, I do want to grab one more thing down here. Yeah, one of these will be great for where I want to go next. And by next, I mean after we take the dogs where they need to go. And still to the end of the season, we aren't using rockets, so we got to get over to this water and go to the dog cafe. I need a better launch than that. Go to the dog cafe. See, it works just as intended. So this is Crink's dog cafe, and you could see our friend Rufus here is really excited. Yeah, that's a lot of spinning, so let's go put them in here and they could socialize with the other dogs. Okay, where should we put them? Maybe we should put them at this table so they could be together. Okay, we have Arlo right there. And Rufus really likes this spot, just spinning around, but you should come over here, hang out with your bud. Well, should we put this guy back? Rufus is being a total menace. There we go. That looks good. We should put this guy back too. Yeah, I think these guys will like it much better over here. But it's time to say farewell, and unfortunately, we can't give them steak because then they're going to make another dog. Unless if they're sitting. Okay, perfect. They deserve that. And now it's time to go to a place where we should really only be going by boat. Or by bamboo raft in this case. So I'll see you guys when we get there. Yeah, so this is Shanty Town. We could park our boat right over here and take this ladder to get to our starter base area. Yeah, so right here is our starter boat, this acacia orange boat with a spruce bottom. The reason why we built this was actually just because I was attempting to build some boats and I thought it looked pretty cool and thought it would be a unique idea for a starter base versus just a house. So that's actually also the reason why this is orange. I was using orange wool to lay out the shape a little bit and I kind of liked it, so we changed it to acacia and it works great. The orange is also really nice because you could use these acacia trapdoors as railings. It kind of looks like rusted iron bars. That's definitely my favorite use for these trapdoors. And besides that, what else is special about this boat? If we come in here, I didn't really do anything fancy down here. I just threw down all our workbenches. We have, okay, that's better. We have the resource pack on, but we have a little painting back here, random sign. This is from another one of those competitions similar to the raft one. We have our trial chamber armor, which is the first ever thing we wore to take on the trial chambers. A little autocrafter setup that's usually used for dispensers, but I guess it's empty. And then just some storage underneath. Nothing too exciting. Right up here, we did have a couple of villagers at one point, but they all turned to witches. Which actually, well, I'm getting distracted. Brings us to our second build. Up here we have a villager. It's Test the Tester, also a witch. This was actually a test villager. Once we built this platform, I wanted to see if we could get villagers just roaming around, but Tess would always end up in the water, so we locked her away and then she became a witch eventually. Which is pretty weird because she was just chilling inside. But let's take a step back and look at this a little bit more. Nothing too crazy. This is just very heavily inspired from B-dubs. This kind of spruce, acacia, oak idea, I really liked how it worked, so I tried it out and it came out great. But to spice it up a little, we have this jungle log and this green terracotta. What else? I guess the last thing to say about this really is trapdoors under these stairs. Looks really cool, just adds a little bit something else. And the interior is nothing crazy. We have more storage because we needed more beyond just the boat. This was going to be a room. We have a little nether, what is this? Nether wart back here. And up here, you already saw Tess, and we just have some storage from some of the tough shenanigans, which we'll touch on a little bit later. And then what do we do after that? I think we actually did this rock over here. It was definitely inspired by over here. We have the talk rock. I figured it would be really cool to have a bunch of these rocks sticking out from around Shanty Town, but I never got to doing more of them because they were kind of really difficult to build. It's nice to bring it all the way down, and this was a lot of dripstone. The most exciting part about not the talk rock, Dwayne, I guess, is actually what's inside of it. I never showed this on camera, but if you come around here, you could click this button and drop down all the way down here. This is where I just really use for farms and such. We have a little tree chopping area over here. We have a wheat field over here for making cookies along with some cocoa beans. We have a snow golem for snow blocks. And then over here we have, this was actually just added. We have a little firefly bush converter and a bush converter. Very manual though. Oh, and then this actually goes down a while. We have a random turtle here, but the goal I think was to make this go all the way down to the shopping district. You can see it goes pretty far, but then I stopped just because the plans we had for this didn't really pan out. But overall, this area was just really nice to keep all of our farms tucked away and hidden. A lot of the time I like to make buildings to hide them in, but we didn't really have that much room here and I didn't want them just sticking out like a sore thumb. And after we built the rock, we built this big house on the docks. This is definitely the best angle for this build. If you come on in, you could see we have the only villager that did not turn into a witch, our mending villager. And just a simple bedroom with all of our wool storage because we actually have our wool supply up here. Just a single sheep giving us all of that. Works out pretty well. Haven't restocked the shears in a while though. We also have a sugarcane farm over here. It's really small, but this was almost filled up at one point, but we used it to get a bunch of paper for emeralds for mending books, but this was smart because it's right in the town, so other people would load it, and really not that much work to build this at all. And the last thing about this build is we have a little porch here. These builds definitely needed a little bit of added character, which is actually why we also have this. It kind of hangs over this, and we have a little walkway underneath this. And some of the inspiration I saw there were just houses stacked on top of each other, and we didn't do that so much. We really only did it with this where you could kind of walk under, but I think this is still a great idea that we incorporated. This is also one of the houses where I want to talk a little bit about feedback of the building. I really don't like how this roof turned out, especially here. I think I could blend it a little bit more, do the texturing better. Some of this doesn't really work. I think it might be a little bit too strong, and maybe even that. It's only in that one spot and it doesn't really work out too good. But the point of doing this, I wanted to test out some new ideas. The texturing on that roof is definitely better, but we should have mixed in the netherrack in a couple more places to make it seem more even instead of these stripe kind of things. And in general too, I think this side of the house does not really look good. From this angle, it really looks bland and flat and not too exciting. But when you're walking in town through this way, it really works out and looks cool. Then next up is definitely the Shanty Town mini market right here. Just the two finishing touches we put on the platform. So we have some mending books. Oh, we actually got a few diamonds. We have some heads over here. Didn't really make any sales, but put them here in case. And next up is the fishmonger right here, but we didn't really make this into a real shop. And the idea with that was just to make it so we didn't have to put a big building in the middle. I wanted the boat to still be visible when you were walking in from over here. So these you could kind of look through them and see the boat, and they definitely just fill out the platform a little better. And then we had this one final spot, so we put the simple brick house. I don't really love it. It's just kind of weird a bit. The best thing about this house is honestly that we were able to add this curtain banner overhang thing. It really makes this area. I think it looks awesome. It would have been cool if we could put a bunch of these in more places and even change them for different colors depending on which season it is, which holiday. Could be really cool. And in here, it's nothing that crazy. The interior is actually pretty cool. Tiny bedroom. We have some random storage, and upstairs is just crafting table. What else do you need? We did a little fun stuff for this roof texturing as well. You could see we have some netherrack. What is that called? Nether brick mixed in with the black stone to make a little gradient over here. And this little jut out also adds a little bit more character to this build. But yeah, not too crazy about this build. It's definitely not the worst though. And with that, I think we're done with everything from our platform, but we did do a couple other contributions to Shanty Town. First off is over here, we have the nether portal. We had this other boat that we designed, and I thought it would go great as a nether portal. These black stripes actually hide the nether portal. And see, we had to use obsidian to make the portal, obviously, and we mixed some blackstone in and added another one here just to make it seem like it belonged. My favorite part about this is probably the roof texturing, the stripe kind of look, and just putting a little stair to get a little jet out there and this whatever it is. And also when we did this, we also reshaped Otto's platform a little bit, made another waterway here, a bridge here, so we could fit this chicken coop right over here. This was actually really fun to design because I wanted the chicken coop to be a little bit unique for Shanty Town and not just a normal one. So we used the same kind of acacia spruce mix, and it just looks a little janky with the shape. If we go on in here, this used to be an automatic system. The chickens would go up there, they would lay eggs, and they would automatically get shot out, and the chickens would run out of here into this area. But it was working a little bit too well. This was always crowded, so I turned it off because we really did not need any more chicken. I'm eating steak right now, but I just didn't want to smelt all this chicken. We have a lot. Oh, we should grab some more. And I think that's the last two things oh, there's actually one more thing. And that actually probably creates a good transition to the next part. Ouch. We built a little build for the skeleton grinder. Oh, we also did the interior, so this one's really fun and definitely Minecrafty, just a skeleton head made out of stone and some other stone-like blocks. Our horse is up here too that we never really used. It doesn't have a name except it's mine. We could drop down, and I always like to say these arrows really look cool. I gotta find a way to use them again in the future. So down here, we did this little build. Geo made the actual farm, but we made a system where if we kill a skeleton, they'll go through here. Items will go down there and up in a water stream here. And this is an auto sorter for all these different things. It even makes bone blocks automatically if the bones are filled already with this janky system. I didn't really do that too well because these bones really never filled up. That's why we have a bunch of sticks here. Let's see if we could get some skeletons so I could show how it works. This is also Ralph, our other dog from before. I told you guys it was still here. We have a few skeletons, so we could take a little swipe and we could get the experience, and the bones will go over here. You can see them go down there, and then they'll start going into the chest, right? Yeah, you can see 38, 39, 40. And you can see this is how we get the bones for the bones on the boardwalk shop. So I think we should go over there right now. Check out the shopping district. So we're in the bone shop right now, which is the first shop we built on the server. Bones on the boardwalk, got some bone blocks, bones, pretty fun stuff. We have this guy in a boat, but he gets angry sometimes. And back here in the employees only section, you could see all the profits we made from this, almost a diamond. We split it with Geo2 because he built the skeleton farm, but we built the shop. A better place to look at this is definitely from the outside though, just a simple store on the boardwalk, nothing too crazy, because I feel like shops on the boardwalk aren't too crazy, and I just wanted to try something pretty simple, and I think it works really cool with all these different colors on. It's also made out of bone blocks, so that's pretty cool. And then since this is on the quarter, we also put a little bit of a garden here, and we have a little graveyard right here because obviously bones, it just made sense, a little nice Easter egg or whatever you want to call it. The next shop we probably built was light as a feather, just a pop-up stand, 1 feather for 1 diamond. We actually sold 3 of these. On one of the stream days, you needed to get a feather to add to the torch, so I figured we might as well make some diamonds off of it. And then after that, might have been the stuff shop, but we'll talk about that right at the end. Let's check out the cookie shop first. This shop was definitely a fun little project, and you'll see what's different about it once we go inside. In here, we sell custom cookies. So we have some frosted cookies, some sugar cookies, heart cookies, creeper cookies, and I've been changing these out as different time periods go on. You would see we had a creaking cookie for Halloween, and when the creaking came out, we have a little like cinnamon swirl cookie, a pumpkin cookie, a ghost cookie, a Santa cookie, a gingerbread cookie. Yeah, there is actually one more that I could find real quick. Okay, by real quick, I mean we gotta go back to the base and grab it. And the last cookie we have is this diamond cookie over here. We were gonna do something fun with it, maybe a mini game, something to get more people into the shop, but we just never ended up doing it. Another point of the shop was just I wanted to practice making textures, and I thought this was a great and fun way to do it. Now we're flying back to the boardwalk to check out this other pop-up stand we have, this Fireflyers Firefly Bush & Co. This was never in a video, but I did do a little short on it when the Spring to Life drop came out. So we have Firefly bushes here. Oh, that's a lot of diamonds. 17 from that, and we have regular bushes here. Oh, how many do we have from that? 11 from that. That's pretty good. Of course, we updated pretty late in the season, and I didn't have any current episode filming, so I thought it would be fun to just make this into a short, and I am Fireflyer, so it really only made sense. And now, the last shop we need to talk about is the stuff shop, the tough shop over there. But as we're walking there, I want to say I'm really proud about how much I contributed to building this boardwalk. I did a lot of it, pretty much this entire section, all of this, and even the middle part over there. Oh, I almost forgot about this. We made this for Lee's shop and just to build something else on the boardwalk, and we actually ended up selling it to Bear, who made it into a skulk shop. You could see it definitely got infected and skulkified. But let's make ourselves... Oh, one more thing before. I really like these benches. Okay, I guess that's all I had to say about that. But let's head on over to the top. Oh, I keep on forgetting stuff. We also made this little guy to welcome some Dragonfell members onto the server when they were visiting. Just a little entry stand. It was going to be temporary, but I guess Autocraft Adam's too iconic. Is he a little bigger than me? Yeah, I don't know when he got so big. They really do just grow up so fast. Okay, enough with these distractions. We gotta check out Tufts. I just had to do an outfit swap to talk about the Tuff shop. We made this awesome little hat and a little t-shirt too to go along with it. I don't think I've ever worn the hat and t-shirt in front of the new shop. I really like how this all looks. You can see right now it's just a simple Tuff shop. We should check the profits on this too. Another 4 diamonds. I'm just trying to think how I could explain this in under 30 seconds. Well, I'll give it a try. Back at the start of the season, Calvin and Crink started a Tough business where you would subscribe to the Tough service, you would pay Tough monthly or whatever, and then they would bring you Tough upon request. And it was a little sketchy, but we still signed up for it because why not? Eventually, they saw that I was really organized with getting my stuff and requesting it, so then they invited me to join the team, and I was doing deliveries for a while, but then things really weren't working, so we wanted to do a rebrand, and that's where Tufts was born. So we had the Stuff Shop first, Simple Tough, and now we have Tufts, Tough with a Smile, or at least that's what I would like to call it. Yeah, that's the oversimplification of it, but that will have to do. You still see my hat from down here. But yeah, I really had such a great time with all the Tough shenanigans with Calvin, Crink, Sherber, and anyone else who was involved. We're really just lucky that Tough is such a great block. I think with that, that's the last thing we have, the show in the shopping district. So let's go check out the Halloween district. You could see it come right into view right over here. So this is the Halloween district, of course. It looks spookier at night, but we'll tour it during the day. And by tour, I'm not really going to go through the whole thing. I just want to really show what I worked on as part of this. See a little quick overview right now. But our build that we did is right over here. So this build never actually made it into an episode, but I did do a little short of it on my second channel, I think. It's just something I put together because I wanted to be involved with this Halloween district, so I thought we would just put it into the world, and here it is. So when you're doing the path where you're properly supposed to do it, you're supposed to come in from this direction. You can see we have a pumpkin field over there. You could go in, but I think it looks really cool if you're coming from this direction because you could see the little side entrance and the tower and then go into the main entrance. We'll do that in a second. I just want to check out the exterior a little bit more. This is probably my least favorite build I've done on the server. I think the cherry wood stripes are pretty cool, but I really don't like building with blackstone too much. And then the roof is also not too hot. Yeah, I just think the whole thing, I think this tower thing is a little bit too wide. The roof is not that great. Whatever, let's stop slandering my build and go check out the inside, which I kind of actually like. So we have a little Halloween carpet over here. We have a small kitchen, a cauldron with a towel of sorts. And when people were walking through this, I said, take 16 free cookies, which we showed off earlier in the shopping district. And then here you could go upstairs, but let's not talk about that. If you go one more floor up, you just, yeah, I don't know what that's about either, but it makes sense that this wasn't a full video. And if you come down here, you could do a little exit and come out this way. So technically, if you're doing the path, you could come through here and go inside and out that way and just skip this little section here. But yeah, that's all we have for the Halloween section. We really only did that one build, but huge shout out to Gio and Anki for really organizing this whole thing. A lot of this was built by them. Okay, we should sleep real quick, and then I think we could go check out the other holiday themed district, the winter Christmas district. This area also only has one build by us, but it's pretty cool. And here we are, the Christmas district. You can see this area has a lot of builds because this is what we worked on during the Dragonfell Autocraft crossover during that stream weekend. Our build was actually one of the first ones out here, right over here to the left. You could see it in between these two trees, this nice little cabin kind of house. I never know what to call it because I don't think it's really a cabin. I feel like a cabin's more made out of wood, but we have this stone cottage. I think that's a better word for it, a little snowy cottage. I tried to do the road too to make it so you could come through that angle and kind of see it from this side, which I think is really cool. But this build was around the winter drop, hence the winter area, but it let us use some of this pale wood for the first time, which was pretty cool. I thought I'd use more of this, but I guess not really. I really like how it blends with the calcite and just adds a little bit more texture to a snowy roof. But the real texturing that I love about this is the terracotta mixed in with the brain coral, the dead brain coral, and the tough and some acacia wood. I think it really looks sick, and we have some little icicles hanging down using the pale fences and the diorite walls. This build's definitely not perfect, but I really still do like it a lot. If we come inside, we did some of the interior. This room is probably the most complete compared to the other ones, and it's really not crazy. We'll do a little walkthrough. Small dining room, kitchen, obviously, bathroom, obviously. We have Crink's bedroom that he made. And if we go upstairs, we have a little use your imagination and a small bedroom with another chimney. The chimneys are probably a unique part of this build as we have two right up front. I don't know if up front was the right word for this, but we have two chimneys where I think we have a bunny on the roof. That's interesting. Oh, and the build's not textured on this side. That's really awkward. Just ignore that and look at that chimneys. I really like what we did with the alternating patterns, a different type of texturing. I don't even know if you would really call that texturing, but I like it nonetheless. Yeah, I guess nothing really else to say about this build. I think that's all we have for the Christmas district. Again, I'm just highlighting the one build we did in this entire area. This was really a big community project, which is awesome. Is there a bed in that roof? I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. So I guess that's all I got for you guys for season 5. It is really just crazy to be saying that. So inside the boat, I put a little area for us to put our armor in, along with our ender chest and other tools, but I'm actually going to need this back first because we do have a stream weekend coming up after I finish recording this episode. I don't do the streaming, but if I want to hang out, I kind of need my stuff so I don't die. So I'll make sure to get all my stuff in there towards the end of the season, but the very last thing I actually want to show is we've had a stripped block on this house this entire season, or since I built this house pretty much. I won't be fixing it because I feel like it's a part of the season at this point. Anyways, I think that's all I have for you guys. I don't really know what else to say, but stay tuned if I have any funny clips from Stream Weekend to put somewhere like the second channel. But besides that, we're pretty much done with our time on Season 5. I guess it only makes sense to take our boat and sail away to Season 6. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.